up, everyone? This is Tatum. I'm back with another episode of F This Review, and tonight is a special night. A long time in the making. If you're a fan of my channel or a subscriber of my channel, you already know I'm a big fan of Nicki Minaj. I was looking forward to this album because it was called Pink Friday too. For my subscribers, you know I usually do a reaction video to new albums, but I wanted to take my time to listen to this. Like, I set my camera up, I had everything ready, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna listen to it on my own and give it like a real in-depth review. I think Nicki Minaj deserves that, you know, instead of just a half-ass reaction in a way. So in this review, we're discussing Pink Friday 2. My first thoughts going into this album, I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, we've had a couple singles leading up to this, Red Ruby Sleeves, Super Freaky Girl. But it felt like, to me as a Nicki fan, and Barbs don't come after me because I know how quick you could turn on someone. I felt like I didn't see a bunch of promotion for it, so that kind of had me worried for a second. But when I heard the album, I was like, oh yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I don't think this album needed the hoopla and all this strategy behind the promo because she's a legend in herself. Like, these legacy acts, they don't have to do that, right? And I think this album not only solidified her as that legend of hip-hop from a woman's standpoint, but overall it solidified her as just a superstar. This album, I'm gonna get into bringing down some of the songs, but to get into this album, it's very mature. It's probably the most vulnerable Nicki Minaj album, and the Pink Print was vulnerable to me as well. This is what I wanted Queen to sound like, right? But you know, the artist has to live their life and go through things. She's married, she has a kid, like it's a lot of things that happen in Nicki Minaj's life in between Queen and this, right? From the opening track, which samples Billie Eilish, I believe it was produced by her younger brother, Are You Gone Already, which was a dedication to her dad, her late father. And she starts it off with the line, like something along the lines like, you know, you didn't even get to meet Papa. He was on his way. Like the setup was ready for you to meet your granddad, and you know, unfortunate circumstances took place where that prevented that from happening. I felt like her opening the album with this track was such a bold and impressive move, like, and I compliment her for that because it was very eye-opening just to see Nicki Minaj in that, from that side, because you know Nicki Minaj comes off sometimes as like, you all my sons, in a way, like it's this bravado that goes into it, which she does get vulnerable. And I think the second verse, you could tell she just wrote it like last week. I thought that was really good way to start it. And even her talking about, you know, being rich but being unhappy in certain points and dealing with guilt, which I'm pretty sure anyone in her position would feel. You know what I mean? A lot of her shit plays out in the public for all of us to see, but we never really know how she feels about it, you know? So I believe that was a great way to open the album. To go into Barbie Dangerous, it was a cool record, just to pick up the momentum a bit. It was funny because I was like, oh, she did this with Meek. Like, spit your game, talk your, the Biggie reference. This one showed me like, oh yeah, she's the best female rapper of all time. Like, nobody, to this day, nobody can fuck with her pen. I thought it was funny on this record where she said she broke a couple rappers' heart, and ironically, this was the flow she did on the joint with her and Meek. No one else caught that? Okay. FTCU. It's good to hear. It's always good to hear Nicki Minaj on tracks like that, because that's her pocket as well. It's like that Bees in the Trap vibe that she could kill effortlessly. You know what I mean? My favorite part of that was so minuscule but dope. Well, she says like, minus like 50. Mine's was 950. Like, bitchy. Like, that's my favorite part, and one of my standout like lyrics on this, like, minus like 50. Mine was 950. Like, and the shots, the mag shots in here. Like, you gotta appreciate that just from a rapper standpoint, not being afraid to still be competitive. I don't really know what started her and Meg beef, but because they did the song together, so I don't know, because she got on this one and on Red Ruby Sleeves. Beep Beep, I felt like in the streaming era, I think she could have done this, but replace this one with the one with 50, and that would be a great record to me. Falling For You, it's a cool record. falling for you. As soon as I thought it was about to be one of those records, she started sending shots at people as well. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it here too. Let Me Calm Down. I never heard Nicki like this. Obviously, this is her first album since she's been married, but she talks about the difficult dealing with, you know, her husband and just the difficultness that comes with that, and the shit that she, and the verse is short. Like, J. Cole verse is longer than hers, and J. Cole is like, if I was Nicki's husband, I have a problem with J. Look, man, don't say this message from God, but it's going through you. No, I don't need a median. I don't need a median. I don't need a medium in this. Like, don't do that. But great record. Great record. And has meaning to it. I make fun of the J. Cole thing, but it's great to hear, like, someone from a man's point of view, like, giving somebody else game, like, I know what you gotta be going through dealing with Nicki Minaj. She's big as the world and blah, blah, blah. And you feel like you gotta do these things, but don't do that. These are the things you gotta do to help her and love her. You know what I mean? Because he's a celebrity and a superstar in his own right. So he understands. And he's also a man. So he understands, like, damn, you going through this, maybe I could. And she said, like, she had a 2-hour conversation with J. Cole about the record, and I thought that was just dope. Cole's on a hell of a feature run for the past fucking 5 years, it feels like. R&B, that's a skip for me, to be truthfully honest. I know that's just not my demographic and bag. I felt like they should have had Wayne sing that hook instead of the person who sung it. Pink Birthday, I love it, but short as fuck. Like, why is it so short? I felt like this was a song she could have had, and hear me out, this is the song she should have had Monica and Keisha Cole on. Like, because it gave me that early 2000s R&B feel, like a Pretty Ricky kind of feel to it, that I felt like a Keisha Cole's and Monica would have just been, it would have been like a sexy, it just would have been a great record, you know what I mean? But I still love it. Still one of my favorites without them, but I was just listening to it and I was like, damn, she could have had Monica and Keisha on this one. Needle with Drake, I understand that one. Like, you can't really go wrong with that because it's a Drake feature, and Drake in that Caribbean bag always works. He should have had a verse though. He should have had a verse on there. I think that would have complemented the song and brought it together a little bit better. But it's still gonna be a hit record, so it doesn't matter. I really wish they would have barred it up, but you know, we got those. Cowgirl, that's Pop Nicki. It's needed, but it's just not for me. Like, I get it. It's in that, it give her that realm, and it's not like this song, but more of a super bass, just more in that pop bag that she did a lot on Pink Friday, the original one. So I understand the callbacks to sounds and shit. Like, that's one of the things that I picked up on while listening to it. I was like, oh, she's like, obviously the growth in her as a musician, but the pieces that she took from Pink Friday to, like, only thing that was missing was Roman on this album. Everybody is the one. I probably played that song over 1,000 times already. When I first listened to the album, good thing I didn't do a reaction, because I couldn't get past that song. I just kept rewinding it back. I didn't even get the Uzi part. Like, I just kept rewinding it back. Like, I love the fucking pocket she found on there. They need to push this song, like, with some real money, Universal Republic. Push this record. We need a video. We need it. I don't listen to the radio no more, but it needs it. Spins up. The Vince Lombardi line, fucking amazing. Uzi did his thing too, but Nicki Minaj, like, showed, this is how you rap on this. Let me show you. And you could tell it didn't even take a lot of effort from her. Easy hit. Red Ruby Sleeves, already did a reaction. I did a reaction to that. You could look at it up here. But in the sequence of the album, it fit perfectly. I still love the flip of the Lumi D, uh-oh. So, like, that one was really, really, still go crazy for it. And more Meg shots. 4 from Trini. I'll just go through a couple more of these. She always has that sound on her album, just a dedication to where she's from. She's a Trinidadian, so I understand. I know the market that song's gonna hit. Pink Friday Girls. Nicki getting these samples clear. She had fucking Rick James sample on Super Freak, had the Girls Just Wanna Have Fun sample, she had the Blondie sample. It was another one. Oh, Everybody. The Everybody, Move Your Feet and Feel United. The budget had to be crazy for this album to get all these samples cleared, for one. And I heard that, I think it's Cyndi Lauper who sings Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, cleared the master track. Like, and she's never done that before, which is dope. If it's not Cyndi Lauper, I'm sorry. Bomb Bomb. I read that she didn't even like this song. Like, she put up a poll from it. So I wonder, how did this end up on the album? Maybe like somebody in her circle loved it and she just threw it on there. The joint with Future, I thought was cool. I can't see myself going back and listening to it, but I know it's just not for me. But I know the importance of that record, and it's still a great record, don't get me wrong. Blessings, one of my favorite, just to hear Nicki Minaj in that. I don't know, I never heard Nicki in that bag before, like that. I hate to say it, but gospel God bag in a way, like, and it sounded really good. The singer on there, Tasha Cobbs or Combs, I don't know, Cobbs, probably Cobbs. Sorry if I ruined your name. But you did an amazing job. You did a really, really amazing job, and I appreciate that song. The Last Time I Saw You was released as a single. Great record as well. The last three on here, Blessings, Last Time I Saw You, and Just the Memories, where she's, you know, where she talks about her upbringing and things that she went through. You know, she talked about her first boyfriend getting stabbed in the neck, and she, as a kid, a girl kind of thought she had her, but she like went to jail for doing some crazy shit. And you know, it's a very vulnerable record. She talks about almost she could have overdosed, or like, and to me this record sounded like a perfect farewell ending song. This overall album, but especially that last song, it was like, oh shit, like Nicki's giving us everything. She giving us everything we could have wanted in a record, and it sounded like a farewell to me. But this album, man, I can't stress it enough. I really, 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 really enjoyed this album. Nicki Minaj, you did it again. This is probably some of your best work. Even the songs I didn't like, I understand why they're there. They're not bad songs. There's an audience for every one of them. Which, when I looked at the track list, I was like 21, 22 songs. I was like, oh shit, okay, this is gonna be a long ride. But every song served a purpose, and it added to just your overall artistry, like the vulnerability, the club. We had the Jamaican feel. We had the pop side. We had Barney's Bitches Up. We had the disses. We had the hooks. We had the Drake feature. We had everything that you could have thought of being in a Nicki Minaj album that would make it great. We had it on this album. Shout out to ATL Jacob too. He did a bunch of the production on here. I walked away from this album feeling extremely satisfied. This album is probably, and I'll just go out on a legend, say it, probably top 3. My favorite personally is the Pink Print. I feel like that's her classic to me, but I know everyone loves Pink Friday as well. So I would put this as 3. I would put the Pink Print, Pink Friday 1, and Pink Friday 2. Kudos to you, Nicki. You did it again. I wanted to do this in-depth breakdown. I didn't want to do a reaction. Like I said, you deserve, as the queen, you deserve, you know, more than that from me. But really, really, really good album. I think it shocked a lot of people. I think it lived up to the hype. I believe you did your job. If you did want to ride off into the sunset, I won't hold you back. Let me know what some of your favorite records off Nicki Minaj Pink Friday 2. How did you feel about this album? Give me your top 3 songs off the album with some of the lyrics that stood out to you as Nicki Minaj fans. Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied? Are you going to the tour? Let me know in the comments. As always, I'm Tatum. Peace.